Raider Nation, what's going on? How's my second family doing? You're watching the Raiders Report, brought to you by BetDSI, and I'm your host, Mitchell Renz. Interact with me on Instagram, Twitter, at Mitchell Renz365. I look down here and we got 225 people watching on YouTube, over 60 people watching on Facebook. Cheers to Raider Nation. I got out the beer. Cheers to y'all. Here we go. Also, remember to use hashtag Raiders in the comments. Get on the screen. All right, first one coming up here on the board is from Daniel Q. Lopez. What's going on, my man? Nice pick. Joe Flacco, if Carr is traded. Oh my goodness. Daniel, are you drunk already? What's going on? Joe Flacco, if Carr's traded. First off, if we trade Derek Carr for Joe Flacco, I'm just going to pack up my entire set and I'm going to go somewhere else because that would drive me absolutely insane. But if they do ultimately trade Derek Carr, it'll make me really upset. It's why I said Tucker will tuck that earlier in the show. Here's some top free agent quarterbacks in 2019. Nick Foles. He's good. I would still rather have Derek Carr. Joe Flacco, get out of here. Jameis Winston, he's eating up W's. He's not going to be eating W's for the Raiders. Teddy Bridgewater, no. Tyrod Taylor stinks. Tyrod, he's okay. I'll still take Derek Carr over him. Josh McCown. No, I don't want Josh McCown on my team. Matt Schaub, he's still a quarterback. That's still a thing. Ernie Lopez, I think you're younger than Matt Schaub. Ryan Fitzpatrick, Trevor Siemian, Brett Hundley. Guys, if we get rid of Carr, that's what we're going to deal with. That's not what I want. Next question coming in here from Facebook is from Larry Warren. Will the Raiders sign Lev Bell? Larry, I've talked about this a few times, and heck, luckily BetDSI have given us odds in the past. But in terms of are they going to sign Le'Veon Bell, man, I'd be really surprised. I think that they're going to stick with running backs like Chris Warren, who I like a lot. I want them to re-sign Jalen Richard. And if I'm in a perfect world, let's let those two running backs run for 6 weeks. Let's bring in Kareem Hunt. I wouldn't mind seeing him in some silver and black. Next question coming in here is from Omar Medina. We need linebackers. I'd like to see Frank Clark in silver and black. I don't think Frank Clark's a linebacker. But he is really good. And over the last 3 years, 33 sacks, and he's been one of the better defensive players for the Seattle Seahawks. It's why he was one of my top 5 pass rushers that the Raiders need to bring in. Joe Ortega, what's going on? How much money do we save if we trade for Carr for OBJ? I know if you basically get rid of Carr, it's $15 million. That's if you cut him. In terms of how much money would it save, I don't have the exact number in front of me. But hit me up on Twitter, at Mitchell Renz365, and I'll figure out the math for you. Next question is coming in from Shawn Slawenwhite. Okay, Slawenwhite. I'm not sure, Shawn. Sorry for butchering that. Do we make a run at Antonio Brown? Well, before I get into AB, I need to hydrate. And I just don't see why the Raiders would ultimately make a run for him. I think if any team's going to make a run for AB, you better be in win-now mode. And as much as I want to say the Raiders will be in win-now mode in 2019, I still think that we're a whole nother year away. AB is going to be 31 years old. The Raiders are going to have to give up a lot of picks for him. I like AB, but I don't think he's going to be a Raider. If I had to put money on it, I would put money down at BetDSI, and I'd do it because I think it's like plus 200 odds for him going to the 49ers, so that's where I put my money. Next question coming in here a little bit is going to be from Ruben. What's going on, Ruben? Ruben hits me up a lot on Twitter, so shout out to you, Ruben. Will the Raiders sign Trey Flowers? Trey Flowers I've never heard of. Will they sign Trey Flowers? I like that player a lot. He was number 3 on my list for pass rushers that the Raiders could target, and in fact, out of all the free agent defensive ends, I think that Trey Flowers is maybe the most likely because in terms of players, the Patriots don't normally re-sign him. He's 25. He's young, and I still think he's a pretty good player. This next one's coming in from Robert. What's going on, Robert? How you doing, brother? If we draft Kyler Murray, he would be perfect as a Wildcat quarterback and could also be used as halfback for us. What do you do? What do you, Mitch? Okay. I like Kyler Murray. He's talented. However, I just don't really think that it's necessarily the perfect fit. I'd rather stick with Derek Carr. Also, my man Tom Downey's hooking me up here. He says, Derek Carr for Odell Beckham saves nothing. OBJ is more expensive, about $1 million. So, whoever asked that question earlier, there's your answer. Shout out to Tom Downey. Go follow him at What Going Downey. This next one coming in here is from Camron High. Hashtag Raiders. Should the Raiders draft a cornerback in the first round? Think about it. Conley and a blank, that dynamic duo. I want them to re-sign Daryl Worley a lot. He's a really good young cornerback, 23 years old. And I still think that Nick Nelson, who they drafted last year, is a pretty good guy too. I love Greedy Williams. So Greedy Williams is my top cornerback. However, I don't think that the Raiders are going to draft him. I think they're going to go with some defensive end help. But I love Garyon Conley. I think he's one of the most underrated players. And in fact, I think him and Jared Cook were probably the MVPs. Him on defense, Cook on offense. All right, Shane, what you got for me, homeboy? Mitch, what is your favorite running back in this upcoming draft? My favorite running back in this upcoming draft. I wish I had my graphic for top 5 running backs, which I don't. Hit me up on Twitter, at Mitchell Renz365, and I'll give you my top 5. I don't have my top 5 list up off the top of my head. Okay, Jaime Corrales Jr. What's going on, dude? Let's get a pick for you. How about that? Should we trade Kelechi Osemele and Seth Roberts? First off, Jamie, I was watching the comments before I came back on here, and you were blowing up the comment section with this question. So, should we trade Kelechi Osemele and Seth Roberts for a first and get a younger, cheaper guard via free agency? I don't think you're going to get a first for Kelechi. Even though I like Kelechi, I don't think we're going to get a first round for him. But sure, if you can do it, go for it. Next question here is from Makaveli Raider. What's going on, my dude? You always comment, so much appreciated. Lynch says if the team stays in Oakland in 2019, he will play. Should the Raiders re-sign him? If the Raiders can re-sign Marshawn Lynch, it's going to be peculiar to me, right? So Jalen's a free agent. Marshawn will be a free agent. Doug Martin will be a free agent. It just depends what Marshawn's going to be willing to play for. Obviously, I want Marshawn to be back if they play in Oakland. However, there's a reason why I've given 3 chuckheads that I think Marshawn will retire. I just think he's lost the step, and he just wasn't healthy at the end of the year. Christian Balls? I'm not quite sure. What do you think of drafting N'Keal Harry in the first round? He's one of the top wide receivers, I know that much, so or running back. He's one of the top guys either way, so if we can get him at a position that we need, sure. But hit me up on Twitter at Mitchell Renz365. Richard, what's going on, my dude? Should the Raiders draft Khalil Hodge out of Buffalo? He's a tackling monster. Well, Richard, I'd be lying to say that I know all too much on Khalil Hodge. Maybe hit me up on Twitter and give me some videos on him. What do you think about that? Ernie Lopez. Oh, Ernie, you're watching on Facebook and YouTube. Okay, swinging around. I appreciate it. Raider brother Mitch, what are the drinking in that big-ass jug? Moonshine. No, man. So, we get all of our beer here from Tavour, and you guys can check it out below, Tavour.com. So, you just use our promo code to get $10 off, and use promo code ChatSports. So, I have a growler, and a growler is 64 ounces of beer. And if you guys want some beer, slide in my DMs at MitchellRenz365, or just go to Tavour.com, sign up is for free, and get some craft beer of your own. Cheers to Raider Nation for watching. It does kind of look like moonshine, though. But if it was moonshine, I'd be literally on the floor. Next one's coming in from Adrian G. What up, my G? Who will be the next quarterback coach for Carr? Oh, man, that's right. They fired him. Let me do a recap and let me look at some other potential lists or some coaches that we could hire. I don't have a list for me, so I'll go to the next question here from Jamie. What do you think? Would trading for Jalen Ramsey still be a possibility? Sure, but at the end of the day, I talked about this in my last mailbag segment, and I was kind of like, okay, trading for Jalen Ramsey sounds great, but what would the Jags give up? You know, like what would we have to give up to get Jalen Ramsey? I like him. He's super talented. You give me Jalen Ramsey and Garyon Conley, it's probably the best cornerback duo in the NFL, at least a young cornerback duo. Anything's a possibility, right? It's the NFL, but I'd probably only give it one Chucky head. Ruben, what's up, dude? How do you feel if the Raiders sign Golden Tate? I think Golden Tate would fit with the offense pretty well. And Ruben, I don't know if you subscribe to our main Chat Sports channel, so it's youtube.com/chatsportstv. I don't know what I said earlier on the show, but that wasn't right. youtube.com/chatsportstv. We drop our top 25 free agents. Golden Tate's on that list. I understand he's over 30 years old. I think he was a bad fit with the Eagles. But if I've seen one thing, Carr likes to rely on those short intermediate routes, and Golden Tate does very well with that. Actually, the last 2 years, in 2017 and 2016, Golden Tate led the NFL in yards after the catch. Little Cuddle. You trying to cuddle with me as I weirdly pick my nose? Hey, Mitch, what do you think of our odds at Super Bowl next season? I see it being 8-8. And that's just the way I see the Raiders season going. I think that when you're going to add a lot of pieces, we're going to trust the process. But 2020, hey, I might put some money down on the Raiders to win in 2020. Dontae Davis, what's going on, my dude? Should we draft Rashawn Gary at pick 4? That's a little too rich for me, personally. I understand Rashawn Gary's got a lot of hype, but I feel like we've been talking about what Rashawn Gary could be for far too long. I'm not taking him at pick 4. Eric Hayes. Oh, Eric, my man. What's up, my man? Will we draft Zach Allen with our second? I'm not quite sure who Zach Allen is. You mean Josh Allen? Oh, I see what you're saying. Zach Allen. Okay. Honestly, dude, with our second pick at 24, if I had to pick our 24th pick, I'd pick Montez Sweat. That's the guy that I want. Rick Tin. What's going on, Rick? Should the Raiders draft all offensive players with our first-round picks? No. I would take all defense before all offense. If you guys are watching, throw it in the comments. If you guys want to get on the show, use hashtag Raiders. And also, type O for all offense or type D for defense. This might sound weird. I want to see a lot of D's in the comments. Next one coming in here is from Nathaniel. What's up, brother? Colts fired their offensive line coach. Would it be a good idea to hire him to replace Tom Cable? Literally anybody. Nathaniel, what you should do right now is go on LinkedIn, and you should look to see if the Raiders are hiring for an offensive coordinator or offensive line coach, because anybody is better than Tom Cable. We have the best deal on the internet. If you guys want to bet on the Super Bowl, go to chatsports.com/bet and use our promo code LIVE120 for 120% deposit bonus. Chatsports.com/bet. You put down $50, you'll get $60 for free. You put down $100, you'll get $120 for free. Be a big baller, put down $500, get $600 for free. Shout out to BetDSI for hooking us up. The best promo code on the internet. Next one's coming in here from Robert. What's going on, my dude? Should we pick up Kareem Hunt on a 1-year deal and see what he can do? Robert, what I want you to do is check out my rumors video that I'm going to drop after this, or just rewind a little bit and I can hook you up. But when you look at what Kareem Hunt did this past year, I was impressed. So remember, he didn't play the entire season, but 181 carries, 824 yards, 7 touchdowns. He averaged 4.6 yards per carry, but also the dude can catch the ball, right? 35 targets he saw, and he caught 26 of them for 378 yards and 7 touchdowns. I like Kareem Hunt a lot as a talent, and I'm going to compare him to 2 of the best running backs in the NFL. When I look at Kareem Hunt and Ezekiel Elliott, in terms of total yards, it's pretty close. Now, Zeke has got a lot more rushing yards, but he also has a lot more carries. Total touchdowns, 25 to 27. But we talk about Todd Gurley, at least I do, as being the best running back in the NFL. And in their first 27 games, Kareem Hunt's numbers are much better. Much, much better. And Todd Gurley's getting paid $45 million guaranteed. Zeke's probably going to get $45 million guaranteed. And in terms of just talent, if we can get Kareem Hunt for the cheap, hell yeah, man. I'd sign me up for that. Hungry 420. Yeah, I'm getting hungry too. And I see you change your picture. So shout out to you. Shout out to Lil Hungry if you're watching. Mitchell, do you own a Raiders jersey? If you do, which one do you have? To be honest, I do not own a Raiders jersey, but thanks to our sponsor, BetDSI, I'm going to have to get on it. Go to chatsports.com/bet. Sign up and deposit with MasterCard or Bitcoin. If you sign up and deposit with Bitcoin, you actually get a 150% deposit bonus. But if you sign up and deposit with our sponsor, BetDSI, we're going to hook you up with a free NFL jersey of your choice. You want a Derek Carr? You want a Bo Jackson? Chatsports.com/bet. Then just DM us on Twitter at ChatSports. Next one coming in is from Richard. What's up, my man? Should we go out and look for veteran linebackers? Sure. I mean, linebackers obviously a huge need for us, and if we can get a solid player here or there, I definitely wouldn't be opposed to it. But I also like some of the linebackers in this draft. I really like Devin White. I just don't know how we're going to try to get to him. Maybe we trade down for him a little bit. Next question coming in here from Camron. Hi. Raiders first, Josh Allen, and second, Sweat. Camron, my man, I would absolutely freaking love that. In fact, that's how my dream draft scenario would be. Raider Nation, that's all the questions I have for today. I'm going to be still in the comments answering your questions, so I'm going to see you later. Raider Nation, what's going on? Is this the #1 Raiders channel on YouTube? For Chucky Heads, believe it, baby. And if you haven't already, subscribe right here. I'm giving you Chucky Heads, news, rumors, Raider Nation rumors. And look at this, I'm making your life easier. Check out my next video. Thanks for watching, and go Raiders.